If you're starting with native ads, you might wonder what's the best native advertising platform out there. Because there are a bunch, I totally get it. There are the big players like Taboola and Outbrain, but there are a lot of very interesting smaller players, depending on the area you're in, for example, for affiliate marketing, for search arbitrage, etc. In this video, we will speak about the big platforms and with what it makes sense to start with. Hi everyone, my name is Marcel Sattler. I'm the founder of nativeadvertising.net, your platform about nothing but native ads. We provide a lot of free services and resources like this YouTube channel here, but we are also one of the largest native advertising agencies in the field. And when I speak with people, in the beginning, they're always asking me, okay, I want to start with native. I totally get it. And it makes sense for my brand, but I'm not sure with which actually platform I should start with. So there are a couple of big platforms. The most relevant and the most known platforms are Taboola and Outbrain. Those are the native advertising platforms with the most publishers and cooperation partners. They are also the largest companies out there when it comes to employees, revenue, whatever. Then the other platforms are like mid-sized platforms like Ref Content, MGID. Those are the bit more well-known ones. And for the US, Newsbreak. So there are like also very, let's say, mid-sized platforms. And then there are very small platforms, which are usually specialized on one niche or on one vertical, like, for example, travel or affiliates, whatever. And if we look at these kind of platforms, I would always recommend in the beginning to focus on one platform, on one big platform. Never go too wide with too many platforms. So my recommendation is either go with Taboola or with Outbrain in the very beginning. Start with only one of them. It doesn't make any sense to start three platforms in parallel and spend everywhere just $100. No point. Better use $300 and spend this money in one platform, because then you will have faster results and better learnings on the platform. But it's very important here to choose the right platform. And again, in the beginning, you usually decide between Taboola and Outbrain. And if you're going to ask me now, what's the better platform? It depends a bit. So every platform is a bit different in every country. That means Taboola has different placements and a different standing in the US than, for example, in UK or in Germany, and vice versa. Same with Outbrain. But the rule of thumb here is Taboola is usually a bit cheaper than Outbrain when it comes to the CPMs. In comparison to that, Outbrain has a bit more premium-ish publishers than Taboola. So therefore also they're a bit higher price here. If you ask me now, what's the better solution for you? It depends on the vertical you're running to. So for example, if you're in arbitrage, I would always recommend you to start with Taboola. If you're an affiliate, it depends a bit. So if it's like a very aggressive product, I would go with Taboola, because Outbrain, in my opinion, is way more strict with the content. But if it's a very, very white-hat product, you can also try it with Outbrain, because the publishers are more premium. That means the chances that you get a higher revenue per click are also higher there. I'm unable to give you now a very precise CPM overview, because the CPM is depending on a lot of factors in the background, like the country, device type, vertical, what kind of standing you have with the platform. So there are campaigns which have a medium kind of security or safety level and a premium safety level. So also within one platform, you might run on different kind of levels or different kind of publishers here. It depends on how brand safe is your editorial. If it's too aggressive, you will never run on the top premium publishers here. Very important to understand. Does it make always sense to run on the top premium publishers? Definitely not. Sometimes it's better to run the mid-sized publishers on the smaller ones, but advertise more aggressive. But yeah, these are a few rules of thumbs. Again, if you're very aggressive, go with Taboola. If you are having a more premium-ish product, I would go with Outbrain. So this is the rule of thumb between those two. Again, if you're in search arbitrage, always go with Taboola. In my opinion, with this, you will get better results. So this is the very beginning. And then people are asking me, okay, but what's the next? What I should do next afterwards? Then I establish Taboola as a platform, and what I should do next. Very important here is to have the right mindset, because before you jumping to the next one, it's better to use the platform correctly, because the majority of people, they want to go to the next platform after they spend 2K per day. 2K per day on a platform like Outbrain or Taboola are nothing. You're still a small fish. It's very important to understand here to put everything in the right context. It's better instead of having FOMO, fear of missing out, and jumping from one platform to the other one because you think the grass is green on the other side. It's better to optimize this platform and scale it up, because native, in the end of the day, doesn't matter if it's Outbrain, Taboola, or something else, native is still a scaling channel. So native doesn't make sense if you want to spend $500 per day, but native makes sense if you want to spend 5K per day. Then native is the right platform because you can scale it up like crazy. And this is very important to understand. So before you're switching to another platform, scale it up, scale Taboola or Outbrain up from 3K to 5K, from 5K to 8K. If you're at 8K profitable every day, and this for like 2 or 3 weeks, then yes, then I totally agree with you to add another platform. Then you can think about to add another big player. So for example, if you started with Taboola, then you might consider to start with Outbrain in parallel, because both platforms in usually every country, you can scale easily to 7, 8K per day profitable. Then you have already 16K very fast here. This is a very, very fast, very short timeline. And then you can add also smaller platforms. For example, in the US, very interesting is Newsbreak, because Newsbreak is very, very popular in the US. Many people are getting or reading the news on Newsbreak. It's very much mobile optimized. So Newsbreak is a very high recommendation from my end. By the way, we also have a video about Newsbreak. So check it out here on my YouTube channel, where I explain exactly how to set up a Newsbreak campaign and everything. It's totally for free. You can access it here on YouTube. I think it's the most updated it's the most updated how to do video here on YouTube. And you might hear already, my second recommendation is if you use already big platforms and if you advertise in the US, then I would go as a next platform with Newsbreak, because Newsbreak has another benefit. It's a very new platform and you have very good CPMs and a very good conversion rate. It doesn't matter here if you're an affiliate or if you advertise for a brand, if you're looking for leads, then Newsbreak makes definitely sense. You're unable to scale Newsbreak to 10, 20K per day because the volume is lower, but Newsbreak is still very, very interesting on also lower volumes like 1, 2K per day. The Newsbreak is very interesting. And just if you're already on a level of at least 30K per day, 40K per day, then I would go with one of the very small niche platforms to add them, because in the very beginning, it doesn't make sense to just spend time on the very small platforms. It makes sense later to add them and to make them profitable. But in the beginning, you need one thing. You need fast conversions. I mean, you need two things, actually. You need fast conversions and you need money. You want to make them profitable. And in order to get these campaigns profitable, or your first campaigns profitable, it's always more advisable to go with a big platform instead of losing your time with 8 small platforms. You know, the chances to hit the big bang on a big platform like Taboola and Outbrain is significantly higher than going with a small random platform which is maybe optimized in affiliate marketing or so. It doesn't make any sense, honestly. Go with the big players here, scale it up, and then focus on smaller things, because I'm pretty sure your time is precious, your time is extremely valuable, so it's no point to spend your time just in order to be busy. You know, at the end of the day, you want to put as least effort in it as possible to have a leverage effect on the outcome. By the way, in a majority of cases, you can use the creatives and the strategy you use for the platforms also for the other platform. So what I mean by that is when you start with Outbrain and you find your winning angle, you find your winning creatives, your winning headlines, you can of course just use them for Taboola or for something else. There is no need to create everything new and to start from scratch, because the audience on Taboola is very similar to the audience on Outbrain and vice versa. So as soon as you find your winning angle, just duplicate it, just copy it to the other platform. And with this, you will see, you will skip a lot of time and you will not lose that much money as you lost on the other platform. Of course, there's still a learning phase, especially if you have an account from scratch. So you still need to get these learnings, gather those KPIs, gather those details. But as soon as you have it, it's way easier to scale it up. That's the first thing. The reason and this is why I told you before, it doesn't make any sense to start with 2 platforms in parallel, is because with every platform you have a learning phase. And in the beginning, it doesn't matter if you start with a new campaign or we start with a new campaign, we need to see which marketing angle works the best, because native, you always start broad and then you narrow it down. And this narrowing down process takes time and also burns money. Of course, it's obvious, because from 3 approaches you might start with, and 9 advertorials you might start with, just 1 or 2 advertorials are the winning advertorials. And the other advertorials, you need to spend money on it, but then you actually see they didn't work out that well. And that's the thing. And if you duplicate this learning on every platform, then you will lose way more money instead of focusing on one platform, kind of burning the money there, take the learnings and just duplicate what's actually working on this specific platform and just scale it through other platforms. That makes way more sense. So yeah, this was a quick overview about the campaigns. As mentioned also in the video, we have also tutorials about Newsbreak. I have a very detailed editorial about Taboola here on my channel, where you can see exactly how to manual, like how to start an account, how to create an account, set up a campaign, and do everything step by step. Very easy, very updated on the latest dashboards. So check those videos out if you haven't done it yet. I hope you liked that video. If so, I would extremely appreciate if you give me a thumbs up and of course subscribe to my channel and activate the bell to receive an update when I upload a new video here on YouTube about native ads. Have a good one. See you next time.